It was recently announced that Aaron Mentos would be the first person to represent Saint Kitts and Nevis at the upcoming Panograma competition. So, in true GM SKN fashion, we have none other than Aaron Mentos here to speak with us about this experience and others. Welcome, Aaron, to Good Morning SKN.
Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Right, so starting the conversation out, we really want to know if there's anything in particular about the Panograma competition that motivated you to participate.
I think, really it starts out with why the competition was born. And really it started because, through COVID, there weren't really too many opportunities for panists. A lot of people weren't gigging. And so Nevin Roach started this program just basically to have a competition, that you could do within the COVID restrictions. So at the time, I wasn't gigging either. And so, I started, playing the pen a little bit more and I reached out to, or somebody reached out to me actually about participating. And so Nevin actually reached out to me this year about participating. So I just started, getting some stuff together and hopefully, go further into the competition.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you mentioned playing the pan extra during COVID. Was that when you started?
So it's funny, actually. No, I started playing the pen when I was 5 years old. So my pops had a reggae band, and then he would play the pan to kind of like promote his gigs and that sort of stuff. So he would go to events play the pan. He would also do some smaller gigs on the pan as well. So he would have my brother and I like playing along with them. So he had some little double seconds. If you go to my Instagram page, actually, there's a picture of me playing when I was like 5 years old in my kindergarten class. He'd have me comping him on the double second, so he played the tenor. And then from there, I grew up, he taught kids like in the pan yard in a Caribbean and social club out here in Springfield, Massachusetts. And so I was always a part of that, but I was mainly playing like the bass guitar or the guitar at that point in time. And then really it was like when my brother passed away and my father passed away, I actually inherited my brother's steel pan. So that's when I really started playing the pan a lot more. And so during COVID, I really started, getting a set together and taking it more seriously.
No, we are indeed sorry for your loss, but I love the way that you have been able to keep the memories alive with that pen, because I suspect that it means that much to you as well.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's definitely a way for me to, keep their memories alive. And I'm always talking to people about it because it's really a part of the story. People say like, oh, how did you start playing? And so, it's a way to keep them alive.
Right. So you've played at, talking about your playing, you've played at a variety of events in the United States. Does any particular event stand out to you?
Oh man. I think, in terms of playing the pan, I've been playing a lot in the Miami area. So, every place it's just kind of like a new vibe. So I can't really say that, one place in particular is better than the other, but it's just, it's the whole aspect of, being able to go and, work different places, but then also be on the beach and like have these beautiful views and stuff like that. It's definitely a blessing. But in terms of like, one performance that I think was really, really important to me was actually when so after my brother and my father passed away, my family held my family and then like friends of the family, members of my pop's band and everything, we all came together and we hosted a benefit concert to help fund the nonprofit that I started working with in Sandy Point, St. Kitts, called Alley to the World. But that performance was probably one of my favorite performances, just because it was really like taking, you know, a negative situation and just, you know, turning it into something positive.
That's a really good thing that you've done. We're going to talk to you about Alley to the World later on. But one of the things that I'd like to know now is in terms of your other performances, obviously you're not just playing for people from this region. So for some who might not have seen or heard the pan up close, have you gotten any sort of reactions from them? What do they say to you?
Yeah, that's one of the craziest things too, because like, you know, when you're growing up, and this goes back to you know, what we were just talking about too. Growing up, my pops would always tell me like, oh, hey, you know, you should pick up the pen and you know, play a little bit. People love the sound of it. A lot of people never heard it before, you know. So sometimes, you know, as a little kid, you know, it goes in one ear and out the other. But then I started, you know, growing up and playing with different people. Like I would play like the guitar, play with the bass guitar, and I'll be playing side by side, for example, with the co-founder of Alley to the World, Isaiah Marshall Thomas. We played a lot of gigs together, and it was just like, you know, people just really focus in on the steel pan. Like, what is that? How do you make that sound? And he's also like an amazing player too. So, you know, I just realized that over time, like people, it's just a aspect of our culture that it's amazing. And the way that people react to it is amazing too. It's funny, like more than any other instrument that I've played out here in the US, at least, I've seen a lot of people, for one thing, when you take it out of its case and they see that shiny metal thing, they look at it like it's a UFO or something, like they you know, something from another world. And then when they start hearing it, you know, it's like their ears start perking up and they're like, whoa, that's like amazing. And a lot of people just really gravitate to that sound. And I think it's just, it's a very unique instrument in that sense, in that, you know, it's very distinct and has qualities that I think just make people, like, bring people's vibes up and make people feel happy. So.
Absolutely. When I hear it, it just has this tropical vibe, and I guess it's because I've heard it all my life. But no matter where I am, when I hear it, I feel like I'm being transported to a beach somewhere where there are palm trees and guys wearing their floral T-shirts, and it just has that vibe.
Drapes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's
right,
the
so
vibes.
steel pan, as you said, is not the only instrument that you play. You are also a bass guitarist. Curious about how you fuse the two.
Yeah, so so I actually play bass guitar, steel pan, and then I grew up playing the cello too. Like, yes, that's a little long story, but so I try to like I produce using like the guitar, bass guitar. I program drums and all of that. So I actually, a lot of times I'll make the backing tracks myself for the performances. And then, you know, I'll be able to like add that in and then, you know, play the melody on the pan. So it definitely goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand in terms of, you know, making arrangements, just knowing music and having that background in music definitely helps.
I have to say that cello. Any chance that the cello will make it in there?
Probably not right now. It's because cellos. I don't actually own a cello, so that's something. So basically, like I had like a program in my school system where like students could get like free lessons, and so I did free lessons on the cello and like up until I was like 18 years old. But I don't actually own one, so it's a hard instrument to just like pick up and put down though.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, one day I'll be able to afford one.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Right. Yeah, no doubt I will.
So Aaron, a colleague and yourself started Alley to the World in 2018. Can you tell us why did you start this initiative?
Yeah, so it actually goes back to, you know, like what I just said about having that program, like being able to play the cello growing up and stuff like. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. You know, growing up, I had a lot of opportunities out here. One, like, you know, having my dad teach me different instruments. Obviously, like a really good opportunity. Isaiah Marshall Thomas, my co-founder, actually had a lot of similar opportunities where he had his mom, you know, pushing him to play pen, to, you know, join like different steel orchestras and just like, you know, difficulties and challenges that we face with doing those things also just like helped us to do a lot more in our life, whether it's like academically or it's actually musically. So it kind of started out with, I started playing the cello in the public school system out here. And I wouldn't have had the money to like get lessons. I wouldn't have had the money to like, you know, buy a cello or rent a cello or anything like that, because all that stuff is real expensive. But the school system like offered that opportunity, so I was able to use that, and it helped me to get into like college. You know, helped me to learn how to play other instruments. It helped me to, you know, learn how to do what I do for a living right now and produce and all that sort of stuff. So really, Alley to the World is looking at, you know, the way that we named it was like Alley. That's like the, you know, smallest section of, you know, my hometown in Sandy Point. And that we're looking at how we can give students tools to be able to not only thrive within that community, but also anywhere that they might find themselves in the world, whether it's different places in Saint Kitts or it's if they want to travel to the US or travel wherever, you know, just giving them different skills that they can use anywhere in any sort of business environment and that sort of thing. And part of that definitely for us was music. So we started with music camps and putting together a music studio, but it's not just a music studio as well. It's also it's just a media. It's basically like a media station. So it has Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro software. It has an iMac, like professional quality studio monitors, mics, interfaces, and all that sort of stuff. And that's in Charles E. Mills school. And yeah, basically we just wanted to kind of like give the students in our own community those tools to be able to kind of like do the same thing that we were able to do and take these little tools that we were given and, you know, take them way further. So.
Well, that is indeed a really good initiative, and I'm glad that you are taking part in it that way. I know from reading an article that we read right here on the show about Alley to the World that the end game is not just limited at or to students at the Charles E. Mills Secondary School either. So
yeah, no, it's you know, it's something that we definitely want to expand at least to other parts of St. Kitts over time. You know, COVID kind of, you know, was definitely like a little bit of a drawback, but in the future, we're hoping to be able to expand it to different places in St. Kitts. And then Isaiah, the co-founder, he's also like he's from his family from Trinidad. So hopefully, eventually, one day we might even be able to expand out there as well.
Oh, that'd be great. Well, before we let you go, Aaron, of course, social media contacts, YouTube pages, anything of the sort for those of us who actually want to see you play the pan.
Yeah, so if pretty much the best way to get in contact with me, because I'll have like everything like in my bio that's new and in terms of like being released. But the best way to get in contact with me is on Instagram, and that would just be you could just find me at Aaron Mentos. And then is it okay if I just mention one more thing about Alley to the World?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I also wanted to say about, you know, reaching out to me. I want people to also reach out to me that find that interesting. Just reach out to me on Instagram. One thing we're hoping to do going forward is we're hoping to be able to include more people in the community, and whether that's like, you know, providing a stipend or something like that, so community members can like come and work with the kids and teach them different things about music, whatever they know about media and that sort of stuff. Of course, like once it's approved by the administrators and the teachers and that sort of stuff. But we're looking to expand it so that we can have something that's more sustainable all throughout the year, rather than just these like one-time camps.
Great initiative, Aaron. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You.
And
thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Alley to the World is going to be on my mind, especially when I drive past there. I'm going to remember you. I'm certain all of the other people from that community as well will do the same.
Yeah, there's a video as well on my Instagram that explains a lot more about the program. So that's the first video that you're going to see on my Instagram when you go on my Instagram. So